His hand was on my thigh. My blouse was halfway unbuttoned. The soft hum of the hotel AC buzzed behind us, but all I could hear was my heartbeat. Loud. Quick. Terrified, but turned on in a way I hadn't been in years. He looked at me, eyes heavy with want, lips slightly parted. His fingers trailed up, slow, patient, almost teasing. My breath caught in my throat. I should have stopped him. I should have gotten up and walked out of that hotel room with whatever dignity I had left. But I didn't. Because the truth is, I wanted it. God help me, I wanted it more than anything. Megaphone, before I take you deeper into what happened that night, do me a favor. Like this video, subscribe to this channel for more real stories like this, and don't forget to share with someone who needs to hear it. This is a safe place for anonymous confessions. Alright, let me tell you how it all began. I'm not going to say my name. Let's just call me her. A woman. A wife. A mother. A person you'd probably pass by at a grocery store and think, she looks like she's got it all together. But I didn't. Not even close. I'm in my mid-30s. I've been married for 11 years. 2 kids. A golden retriever. My husband, let's call him Greg, is a good man. A decent man. Works hard. Doesn't drink. Doesn't cheat. Pays the bills. He's there, but also not really there, if you know what I mean. It started slowly. The distance. The silence. The polite conversations that replaced passion. The kind of marriage where you kiss out of habit, not heat. He hadn't touched me, really touched me, in almost a year. I started to feel invisible. And then came him. His name? I won't tell you. Let's call him Jason. He was a coworker. Just another guy in another office, with a laugh that made people look twice and confidence that filled the room. I noticed him, sure, I'm not blind, but I never thought he'd notice me. Until one day he did. It started with compliments. Harmless ones, right? Nice dress today. Love your smile. You're way too young to be hiding behind that wedding ring. I laughed him off. I told myself it was nothing. I had kids. A husband. A mortgage. I wasn't that kind of woman. But the texts kept coming. They started work-related. Then they got playful. Flirty. He made jokes about us sneaking off. Said things like, if we weren't both married. I should have shut it down. But I didn't. Because every time I saw his name light up my phone, I felt something I hadn't in years, wanted. One day after work, I found myself saying yes to a drink. Just one. I didn't dress up, but I still checked myself twice in the mirror. At the bar, he was charming, attentive. He leaned in when I spoke. Touched my hand when he laughed. It was innocent, until it wasn't. We were in his car. I was about to leave. He reached over to grab my phone, some joke about saving his number, and our hands brushed. That touch, my entire body reacted. He looked at me then, differently. And I looked back. We didn't kiss that day. But everything changed. I started thinking about him when I was with Greg. I started imagining it was Jason's hands on my body instead. I started lingering longer at work. Replying faster to his messages. Dressing just a little bit tighter. A little bit shorter. I told myself I was just bored. That it was nothing serious. But deep down, I was hungry. Starved. And Jason? He knew it. A week later, he sent the message that tipped everything over. There's a hotel 15 minutes from the office. I booked a room. You don't have to come. But I'll be there. My hand shook when I read it. I stared at the screen for hours. I cleaned the kitchen. I folded laundry. I read bedtime stories to my kids. I kissed my husband goodnight. Then I grabbed my car keys and drove. The hotel room was dim. He was already there. He didn't say anything, just looked at me. I stood there like an idiot, nervous, heart thudding. "Are you sure?" he asked. I nodded. And then he kissed me. Not like Greg. Not soft or sweet or careful. But hard. Needy. His lips crushed mine. His hands grabbed my waist. He spun me around and pushed me up against the wall. Everything inside me lit up. I forgot I was married. I forgot I was a mother. In that moment, I was just a woman, needed, devoured, trembling. I had never cheated before. But I didn't feel guilt. Not that night. When he laid me down on the bed, stripped me slowly, whispered filthy things into my ear, I felt alive. Like the woman I used to be. Like the woman I had buried under laundry piles, school runs, and years of being taken for granted. That night was the beginning. And trust me, it didn't end there. Belmore is coming. And it only gets more intense from here. If you want to hear what happened next, what we did, how far it went, and how I kept it all hidden, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and share it with someone who understands temptation. There's something no one tells you about infidelity. It doesn't start with sex. It starts with a touch. Not even a sexual one. Just a touch. A graze. A spark. And once your skin remembers what it means to be wanted, to be alive, everything else becomes easier to justify. I didn't sleep at the hotel that night. After Jason and after we did what we did, I got dressed in silence. The air between us was heavy. His hands had been all over me minutes ago, but now they were in his pockets, like he didn't know what to do with them. I wanted to say something, but I didn't even know what. I just remember grabbing my bra off the chair, sliding it on in the dim light, my heart still racing, my thighs still slick, and my head completely numb. I glanced at him. He looked at me like I was a prize he never thought he'd win. And for a moment, I liked that. When I got home, the house was dark. Greg was asleep on the couch. The TV was on, some sports recap, and a half-eaten bowl of popcorn sat beside him. Same as always. He barely stirred when I tiptoed past. I stood in the bathroom for 20 minutes, just staring at myself. My lipstick was smeared. My blouse still smelled like Jason's cologne. I touched my own lips. They were swollen from kissing. For a second, I smiled. Not out of pride, but because I realized, I didn't feel bad. Not even a little. And that scared the hell out of me. Jason texted me the next morning. "Last night. I can't stop thinking about it. About you." I stared at the message for a long time. Then I locked my phone and tossed it under my pillow. But by noon, I was texting him back. Over the next few days, something changed in me. I walked different. Talked different. I felt dangerous. Desired. I had a secret, and it gave me power. At home, Greg didn't notice anything. Maybe he did and didn't care. We still had dinner together. Still folded laundry. Still kissed goodnight. But now, every time his lips touched mine, all I could think of was how different Jason kissed me. A week after the hotel, Jason asked me to come to his place. His wife was out of town on a church retreat. Funny, right? I should have said no. I should have ended it. But I didn't. I wore a black top, nothing too revealing, but tight enough to remind myself what I was hiding under it. Skinny jeans. A little perfume. I curled my hair. It felt stupid, but I needed to feel beautiful again. When I arrived, he met me at the door. No words. Just that same hungry look. He pulled me in and kissed me like he had waited forever. We didn't go straight to the bedroom. He sat me on his couch, poured me a glass of red wine, and we talked. Real talk. He asked me things Greg hadn't asked in years. Like, what do you want? What do you fantasize about? What do you miss about being touched? And I told him. All of it. Every dark, aching, neglected corner of my body and mind. He didn't flinch. Didn't judge. He leaned in slowly, tracing his fingers over my collarbone, down the slope of my arm. I want to learn your body, he whispered. Then he kissed the inside of my wrist. My stomach flipped. That night was different. It wasn't just about need, it was about exploring. He didn't just take me, he studied me. He pulled my jeans off, slow. Unbuttoned my top like he was unwrapping a gift. Kissed my thighs like they deserved worship. Whispered things in my ear that made me arch my back and beg without even realizing it. When he finally slid inside me, I cried out. Not from pain. From release. From feeling full, body and soul, for the first time in forever. We made love on the couch. Then again on the floor. Then in the shower. I didn't leave until almost 3 a.m. Hey, if this story has pulled you in, if you've ever felt lonely, lost, or even tempted, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. These are real confessions from people like me, people like you. After that night, we saw each other once a week. Sometimes more. Lunch breaks turned into motel breaks. I started lying with ease. Telling Greg I was picking up extra shifts or running errands. But it wasn't just about sex anymore. Jason listened. He noticed things. He asked questions Greg never bothered to. Like when he noticed I had a scar on my side, a small thing from a surgery years ago. He kissed it and said, "Beautiful. Even here." I almost cried. He made me feel seen. Touched. Needed. And the truth is, once you taste that again, you'll do anything to keep it. I started living two lives. In one, I was the perfect suburban wife, soccer mom, PTA meetings, carpool queen. In the other, I was someone else. Someone wild. Someone unashamed. Every time Jason's hands were on me, I felt her, that version of myself I thought had died years ago. And even now, as I sit here confessing to you, I still don't regret it. Not the first touch. Not the first kiss. Not the first time he undressed me and made me forget I was ever married. What scared me most was how right it felt. And how far I was willing to go to keep feeling it. The first lie was the hardest. I'm working late tonight. That was it. Just 6 simple words. Greg didn't question it. He looked up from his phone, nodded, and said, "Okay, baby. Don't stay out too long." That's when I realized something I wasn't ready to admit: my husband trusted me too much. And I was about to use that trust to destroy everything we built. Jason and I had booked a small motel off the highway. Clean enough to feel safe, cheap enough not to raise suspicion. I got there early and waited in the parking lot, my stomach twisting. I kept checking the time. 7:43 p.m. Greg was probably helping our daughter with her homework. Probably sipping tea, watching ESPN, texting me that he loved me, like nothing was wrong. And really, nothing was wrong. At least not on the outside. But inside? I was a storm. A woman caught between guilt and craving. Jason's car pulled up. I got out, grabbed my overnight bag, the one I told Greg had laptop chargers and paperwork, and followed Jason inside. I won't describe everything that happened that night. Not because I'm ashamed, but because words won't do it justice. I will say this: I screamed his name. I scratched his back. I bit his lip. I begged him not to stop. And then I fell asleep in his arms, sweaty, tangled, satisfied. For the first time in a long time. I didn't feel like a wife or a mother. I felt like me. The next morning, I stopped by a gas station. Sprayed on vanilla body spray. Changed into fresh clothes. Brushed my hair in the car mirror. I got home at 6:18 a.m., just in time to make breakfast. Greg was in the shower. The kids were still asleep. I flipped pancakes with shaky hands and a sore body. Jason's kisses were still on my skin. And Greg came out of the bathroom, kissed my cheek, and said, "You're up early." That meeting must have been exhausting. I smiled. And that was the exact moment, I realized I could lie without flinching. The lies grew bigger after that. I'm heading to yoga. I'm meeting Carla for dinner. There's a work retreat next weekend. I said them so smoothly, so calmly, that I almost believed them myself. What scared me wasn't how easily I lied, it was how I didn't feel bad about it anymore. My guilt faded like fog in the sun. Maybe because Greg stopped asking questions. Maybe because Jason made me feel like a woman again. Or maybe, because I had spent so many years being invisible that when someone finally saw me, I didn't care what it cost to keep being seen. One night, I came home late again. Greg was asleep on the couch, mouth slightly open, remote in hand. I stared at him for a long time. Not with hate. Not with love. With indifference. And that scared me. He was a good man. A faithful man. But he hadn't touched me in 14 months before Jason. He hadn't made me feel sexy, desired, female in over a year. And when I brought it up, he brushed it off. "We're just tired. Life gets busy. You know I love you, right?" Love. That word. I had said it for years like a routine. But what good was love when your body felt abandoned? If you're still listening, still reading, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share this story. I know I'm not the only one who's been here. Not the only woman who's lied. Maybe you're one too. And that's okay. No judgment here. Let's keep going. Jason and I got reckless. Sometimes we met in the city. Sometimes I brought lingerie. Once, I wore nothing but his button-down shirt while he ate takeout off my stomach. We laughed. Played. Explored. It wasn't just about cheating anymore. It was about escaping. I was becoming two women, one who packed lunch boxes and read bedtime stories, and another who moaned into pillows and wore red lipstick in public bathrooms. And the crazy thing? I liked both versions of me. But with every thrill, the lies had to grow thicker. Jason wanted more time. More of me. He'd text things like, "I wish I could fall asleep with you every night. I hate when you leave. Why don't we just run away?" And I'd lie to him too. "Maybe one day. I'll think about it. I want that too." Did I? Sometimes. But the truth? I didn't want to lose everything. I just didn't want to be bored anymore. I wanted the fire without burning down the house. One Sunday, Greg and I went to church. Yes, church. I sat beside him, smiled at the neighbors, sang hymns I didn't feel, and looked like the picture of grace. But under my dress? I was still sore from Jason. And in my purse? My burner phone buzzed silently. It was Jason. He had sent me a photo, one I couldn't open in public. And I smiled. Right there in the house of God, I smiled. Because I was no longer the woman people thought I was. Do I regret it? No. Not yet. Because every time Jason touched me, I remembered who I was before marriage buried me in routine. Before motherhood made me invisible. Before Greg stopped looking at me like a woman and started seeing me like furniture. Jason brought her back, that version of me. And I wasn't ready to lose her again. It was raining that night. Hard. Heavy. Sheets of it falling like guilt from the sky. I was driving back from Jason's place, my thighs still tingling, my neck raw from where he'd kissed me a little too hard, and my lipstick smeared halfway across my cheek. I was glowing. Shaky. Wet in every sense of the word. I had stayed longer than I should have. Again. Jason had pulled me back into bed 3 different times after I'd tried to leave. And each time, I let him. Because nothing felt as good as being wanted so badly, someone begged you to stay. But now, I was late. And Greg was waiting. I pulled into the driveway just after 10:30 p.m. The house was dark, except for the porch light, which he always left on for me. Like a husband who still believed his wife was just at yoga or grabbing wine with the girls. But something in my gut felt wrong. I took a breath. Looked in the mirror. My hair was a mess. My mascara was slightly smeared. My blouse wrinkled and open at the top, exposing the hickey Jason had left on my collarbone. I cursed under my breath. I pulled out a scarf from the glove compartment, kept there for emergencies, and tied it around my neck, high and tight. Spritzed perfume on my wrists. Bit my cheeks to bring color back. I practiced my smile. Then I walked in. Greg was sitting on the couch. Awake. Remote in hand. TV off. "Hey," I said, trying to sound casual. He didn't answer right away. Just looked at me. His eyes moved slowly across my body. From my scarf, to my heels, to the red marks on my chest I had failed to fully hide. My heart started pounding. "You said the wine night ended at 10, he said calmly. "Yeah," I laughed, fake and light. "We got caught up talking." "Sorry. Time just slipped." He kept staring. And that's when I saw it. A shift. A flicker in his eyes. He was suspicious. "What did you guys talk about?" he asked. I blinked. "Just, mom stuff. Husbands. Work. You know." He didn't say anything. Then, funny. "Carla called looking for you." My stomach dropped. Cold. Hard. Immediate. "She said she thought you were out with your coworker friends." "Not her." My palms started sweating. "Think fast. Lie better." "Oh," I said. "We switched plans last minute. You know how she gets, mix-ups, always in a rush. Maybe she forgot." Silence. The air in the room thickened. Greg stood up. He wasn't yelling. He wasn't angry. He was watching. Studying me. "You smell like cologne," he said. I froze. My mind scrambled. "Yeah," I laughed nervously. "Some guy at the store walked past and nearly bathed in it. You know those oversprayers?" He didn't buy it. But he didn't press either. He just said, "Go wash up. You look tired." And that's when I knew something terrifying. He suspected. But he didn't want to believe it. I took the longest shower of my life. I scrubbed every part of myself like I could erase the truth. Jason's fingerprints. Jason's mouth. Jason's scent. I stood under the hot water until my skin turned pink. Then I sat on the edge of the tub and cried. Not because I was guilty. But because I realized this couldn't last forever. I was getting sloppy. Careless. Addicted. And I didn't know how to stop. Later that night, in bed, Greg rolled toward me. He placed a hand on my hip, like he used to. And I panicked. Not because I didn't want him. But because his touch felt foreign. It wasn't Jason. Still, I let him hold me. And when he whispered, "I love you," into the back of my neck, I closed my eyes and stayed silent. Because I couldn't say it back without lying. If this story feels familiar, or even if it shocks you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video. These stories aren't for judgment. They're for truth. And sometimes the truth is messy. Let's keep going. For the next few days, I cooled things off. No late-night texts. No sneaking out. No lipstick stains or perfume trails. Jason noticed. "Are you ghosting me?" he messaged. "What's going on?" I ignored him at first. Then finally responded. "Almost got caught. Need space. Please." He didn't like it. But he respected it. For a while. Greg, meanwhile, became weirdly sweet. He brought home takeout. Rubbed my feet. Even left a note on my pillow that said, "You've been distant lately. I miss you. Come back to me." And for a second, just a second, I felt like maybe I could save this. Maybe I could pull out before it was too late. But then Jason sent another message. "I miss your mouth. Meet me tomorrow. Please. I need you." And just like that, I was back. Because even though Greg noticed me again, he didn't know me anymore. Not the new me. Not the woman I had become in Jason's arms. A woman who wasn't just a mother. Or a wife. Or someone's damn property. I was a fire. And Jason let me burn. That night I almost got caught. It didn't stop me. It should have. But it didn't. It only made me better at lying. Smarter. More calculated. And if I'm being honest with you, completely honest, part of me liked the danger. It's been 11 months since I last saw Jason. 11 months, 3 days, and 7 hours, but who's counting? We never had a real goodbye. No grand exit. No final kiss in the rain. Just silence. A slow fade. A couple missed calls. A message left unread. People always think affairs end in chaos. That someone gets caught. Or leaves. Or burns it all down. But ours didn't. It ended in emptiness. A quiet emptiness that slipped in between texts and time, between my guilt and his pressure, between what we wanted and what we could never actually have. I remember the last time I was with him. We were in a new hotel. A nicer one, with white sheets and too many pillows. He held me close, kissed my shoulder, and whispered, "I'm tired of hiding. I want more. I want you." I didn't answer right away. Because deep down, I knew the truth, I was never going to leave Greg. Not because I still loved him the same way. Not because I owed him. But because Jason was never supposed to be forever. He was an escape. A beautiful, reckless, intoxicating escape. And I was starting to feel the weight of everything I had to carry to keep it alive. I got home late that night. Again. I went straight to the laundry room and just stood there. For 40 minutes. I stared at the detergent bottle, the pile of socks, the humming of the dryer, and suddenly, I hated myself. Not for the sex. Not for the secrets. But for becoming someone I no longer recognized in the mirror. I had told so many lies I didn't know what the truth was anymore. That's when I realized something had to change. I couldn't live in two worlds forever. Eventually, one would collapse. So I did the only thing I could. I disappeared. I blocked Jason. No explanation. No closure. Just gone. I deleted our photos. Burned the red lace bra he loved. Erased the fake app one used to message him. Buried the burner phone in the backyard behind the rose bush. And then I sat in the dark and cried like someone had died. Because in a way, she did. The woman who felt alive in secret? She was gone. Greg never found out. He still hasn't. And maybe he never will. We're better now. Strangely. We have more date nights. He hugs me longer. Sometimes he stares at me like he's trying to figure something out. Like he knows something happened, but doesn't want to ask. Because deep down, maybe he's scared of the answer. Do I still think about Jason? Yes. More than I want to admit. Certain songs make me ache. Certain colognes make me dizzy. Some nights, when Greg's snoring beside me, I close my eyes and remember Jason's hands, Jason's breath, Jason's voice in the dark. But I never reach out. Because once you go back, it's not a secret anymore, it's a choice. People ask, why didn't you just leave your husband? And the truth is, I wasn't looking to leave. I was looking to feel. To be kissed like a woman, not just thanked like a wife. To be told I was beautiful. Not just appreciated. To be desired, not just depended on. Jason gave me all of that. And then I gave it up. Not because it was wrong. But because it was starting to destroy the version of me I worked so hard to protect. So why am I telling you this now? Because secrets grow in silence. Because even women like me, women who smile in church, wave at neighbors, plan birthday parties, carry shadows. And I needed to say it. Out loud. Somewhere. Anywhere. Even if no one knows my name. Even if you judge me. This is my truth. And I've been hiding it from everyone. Until now.